It's one thing to have your failures, it's another thing to have them like publicly broadcast seemingly to everyone.
So that, folks, is Nicholas Hoult on the Happy, Sad, Confused podcast, describing losing the role of the Batman played by Robert Pattinson.
The hell are you supposed to be?
During the promotion of Nicholas's 3 upcoming films. We have Juror, The Order, and a film I'm so excited for, Robert Edgar's Nosferatu. That movie looks incredible. And Nicholas auditioning against Robert for the role of Batman. He respects Rob's role, but was also excited at the idea of him portraying Batman.
I know that I'm auditioning, against Rob, and Rob's fantastic in that movie, and I think that was the right decision. But also, you get excited about the prospect. Matt's a fantastic director, and the script and everything. I was like, this is going to be a cool movie. I want to be part of it.
Coulson's blood is on his hands. Maybe it's on yours.
And of course, now in hindsight, being okay with Rob getting the role. But when you're a professional like that, you question also in hindsight, like, what could I have done differently?
Before you can get to the acceptance and like see the movie and be like, oh yeah, that works, that was the right choice, you have to go through the period of like, oh, what could I have done differently? Why not me? Like, do you know, you run through all those things, obviously.
And then reflecting back, wonders like, should he have even auditioned? I mean, now knowing Rob would have got the role, is it worth the effort and emotion that goes into auditioning? Putting your blood, sweat, and tears into the portrayal.
It's also weird now that this process has suddenly somewhat become public, because there's plenty of times that people go and audition for things and you never hear about it.
It is weird to hear actors that are so big like him to be rejected during auditions and it being public. I mean, you're up against Robert Pattinson. That's kind of a tough one as well.
I mean, I remember, a week before we did the Batman test, I was driving in my car and I had the radio on and they were talking on the radio about how Rob was going to be the new Batman. And I was like, it's not confirmed yet.
And yeah, it must be rough to hear radio stations already talking about Rob getting the role, especially when he hasn't even auditioned yet. It makes you wonder what word has been going around and whether Rob's been solidified yet.
I was like, I'm auditioning next weekend. I was like, give me a chance.
You call into the radio show? Guys, Nick from London here.
But not all was grim for Nick as he discusses going on to play Lex Luthor in this upcoming Superman film. A live action Superman film. I mean, we haven't had one of those in like over a decade. James Gunn's Superman Legacy, with David Cornsweet playing Clark Kent. The man doesn't really have a lot on his roster, but I really loved him in Pearl.
I'm not staying on this farm! Nothing's gonna keep me!
Oh my god, that film is incredible. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. But Nick goes on to mention that the directors for Superman were more upfront about whether he was going to get the role or not. They didn't really leave him in the dark like they did with Batman. They basically said, yes, you're in this.
They knew that I'd been through that process, that they kind of didn't necessarily want me to have to go through that again, which is very kind of them. It's caring of them. So there was kind of this element of them being like, hey, we like you as an actor. We kind of want you to be in this world.
But yeah, it makes you wonder how Nick will stand up against the other Lex Luthor actors. I mean, we had all sorts of baldies.
I'm back, Mr. Luthor.
I mean, we had Gene Hackman, who you all know from the 1978, 1980, 1987 Superman films. We had the great Michael Rosenbaum's portrayal in Smallville.
Who's delusional now?
I have proof.
What a classic, epic drama that was.
When I first read the script, I remember reading it, and there was a little inkling part of me that was like, ooh, I think you'd have fun playing Lex. And I kind of didn't say anything, and then when James called me to play Lex, I did kind of cackle, I think is how I describe it. I think that's more what I should be doing in this story.
Well, let me know what you guys think about Nicholas Hoult portraying Lex Luthor in this upcoming Superman film. And you guys know the drill. Ta-ta for now.
Do you have secret selfies of yourself as both Batman and Superman in your iPhone currently?
Yeah, I do. And Lex.
Amazing.
Maybe for Halloween I'll be Wonder Woman.